everybody. It is nice to see you here. It's nice to see your name and a black square. If that's how you're joining us, that's perfectly okay. So I want to welcome you to our second session of our 4-week series on somatic practices for relief and recovery. I'm Karen Penfold with Full of Hope Yoga and Trauma Recovery, and it is my absolute pleasure and honor to work with Wellness Within to help support the cancer community. I myself am a cancer survivor, 2-time breast cancer survivor. It's been 11 years now. So I certainly know, I know what it's like to be a part of this, as they say, a community you never would choose to join, but once you're in it, whether you're a patient, a survivor, a caregiver, it is a unique community to its own. And as I said, I'm thrilled to be able to support it. So we're going to get right into it. I'll just give a little bit of recall from our last session. We began with the real important piece of trauma recovery, and that is for us to begin to recognize the state of our nervous system, to be able to recognize if we are in a activated sympathetic place of our nervous system, if we're in a real kind of stuck, depressed state, which is the free state of our nervous system, or if we're in that parasympathetic place of our nervous system where we rest and recover. And that is certainly where we need to be able to rest so that we can recover. We in the trauma recovery world, we talk about this ability to have a sense of your body awareness and a sense of the state of your nervous system based on how you feel internally. We know how we feel internally based on sensation. And so it is called having a felt sense of safety in the body. We talk about it as that you get to notice and have your own unique experience in this. And that in this body awareness that we're practicing, a real and fundamental important message for you is that you get to notice what you notice and feel what you feel without judgment, comparison, or analyzing. And we shorten that to, you get to notice with kindness. And this noticing is all done through sensation in the body. And so we began last week by looking and exploring specifically the senses and the sensory systems that we have to experience our world. Remembering, or I'll remind you, that trauma and traumatic stress, it takes us out of the present moment, and it can literally take us out of our body, take us out of connection to our body and connection to the present moment, because trauma and traumatic stress take us out of the parasympathetic, where we experience present moment awareness, takes us into our sympathetic fight flight, or drops us down into freeze. And so in a way, well, not in a way, it is true, trauma and traumatic stress really mess with the senses that we have and our sensory systems to experience our world. So that's why we need to cultivate this awareness. And we did that last week, and we will continue to, through our practices, to really pay attention to our 5 senses, how we experience the world through sight, hearing, sound, smell, taste, feel, and then we cultivate a way of experiencing our inner landscape, which is called interoception. And we'll continue to do that through this session and through the rest of them. So I want to bring up those, I want to look at the handout. So I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. I'm going to take a look at the 3 states of the nervous system. And looking over to the, on the right part of this form, it's really important to begin to recognize how you do experience your body, how you experience your nervous system. And we know that by, as I've been saying, we know what our experience is by our senses, through our senses, by experiencing our sensations. So this is an important piece to look at. And then the other one is taking a look at different words to help you describe what your experience is internally. This might seem a little elementary, but as you do this work, this trauma recovery work for nervous system regulation, and as you're continually asked by me to sense into your system, sense into your body, to understand, to recognize the cues and the clues of what your body is telling you about the state of your nervous system. So looking at some of these words, you, if you feel like you are being, like you are feeling stressed or anxious, what would be the word that would tell you, what sensation would you be having maybe that tells you that you are stressed or anxious? Maybe it's a pounding in the chest. Maybe it's nauseous. Maybe it's hot. If you are feeling calm, it's really important to understand, how do you experience calm? How do you experience that calming parasympathetic state of your nervous system where you can rest and recover? Do you feel that as fullness in your heart? Do you feel that as a warmth over your face, or ease in your eyes? So just one other thing here is the body map, I call it, because here's the thing about sensations. All sensations have a location. That it's true that the location might be a kind of an overall, my whole body is getting hot and sweaty, or my chest is pounding, my forehead is cold and clammy, my hands are shaking, my fingertips are numb. So it's important to recognize that sensation has a location in the body. Okay. Today we're going to practice 5 specific somatic practices to help us regulate our nervous system. And the last thing I'll say about the handouts and so forth is that I suggested that you have a notebook handy. I like to call it or think of it as a noticing notebook. So this is the place where you write down what you're noticing about the states of your nervous system. What are you learning? What you're noticing about how you experience calm, how you experience stress, how you experience maybe that a lower place of depression or freeze. So to get started, let's begin with a baseline. So I'll just ask you to settle into your seat, settling into seeing that your feet are connected to the floor, or if you're sitting on the floor, that you feel your sits bones, the sides of your legs on the floor. And we're just going to pause here, and I'm just going to ask you, what are you noticing right now? What are you noticing right now in your system, in your nervous system, that might be telling you, giving you cues and clues about the state of your nervous system? Okay. What are you noticing right now? We can do this by doing what we call a body scan. And this is where we could start at the top of the head, and you just guide your sensory awareness to notice what you notice and feel what you feel without judgment or comparison. Notice sensation in your head, in your face. Just notice what's there. There's no right or wrong. You might feel maybe some tired, some buzzing or some dullness. Notice what you might feel in your neck, your shoulders and back. Often we feel tense or tight, right, in these areas. That is information telling us something about the state of our nervous system. Notice what you feel in your chest. Or you might think of it as your heart space. So we're just giving a little scan of our bodies, scanning for sensation. Remember that sensation is the vocabulary of the body. Sensation is the vocabulary of the nervous system. It is how we recognize the state of our relative, let's put it this way, the state of our relative calm or stress, or let's just say depression, real low state, okay? Just notice what's there. And if you have your notebook by you and you want to write that down, that could be really helpful. All right, so this is going to give us a little bit of a starting point for where we are right now. And now we're going to go into the different somatic practices. Now remember, somatic, soma means body. These are body-based practices that help us regulate our nervous system. And this is going to give you an opportunity to remember the message of you get to notice what you notice and feel what you feel without judgment. Or you can shorten that, you get to notice with kindness. No judgment, kind curiosity. This might take you a little bit out of your comfort zone to do some of these practices. So this is where you get to practice curiosity and just being open and maybe just a little bit of just going ahead and doing something that might make you feel just a little bit uncomfortable. But we're in a safe place. So let's go ahead and get started. The first somatic practice I want to, first we're going to start with, so important, grounding and orienting. Always want to start with grounding and orienting before we move into a practice. And to get you into the habit of grounding and orienting throughout your day. Maybe every time you put your bottom on a chair, it is an opportunity for you to ground, which means you intentionally bring your awareness to the physical sensation of feeling the support of the chair under your legs. Feeling the physical sensation of the contact between your body and that chair. And then guiding your awareness to feeling the ground under your feet. So much of this work is about coming out of our thinking mind and coming into our feeling body. Bring your awareness to noticing that there is firm contact, connection of ground under your feet. Grounding. Then orienting, where we use our senses to connect to our environment. Last week we did the piece on looking all around your environment, using your sight to give your nervous system real-time, true information about the relative safety or threat of your environment. So just looking all around, looking behind you, even to the ceiling and the ground, noticing the windows and the doors. This might seem odd or unimportant, but our neuroception is the sensory mechanism that is always running and is always trying to tell us whether we are safe or under threat. So let's give it real-time information about that safety or threat by looking around. And just notice how your system feels after that. What sensations might tell you whether that was helpful for you to regulate your nervous system, to look all around your environment. Okay, now let's just settle into some stillness. And I'll have you guide your awareness to something that you hear in your environment. Let's notice something that is audible. Really focus your awareness to this one sound. And now see if you can get a perception for where that sound is coming from in relation to your body in this moment. That is using our sensory system of proprioception. Our ability to get a sense for where we are in space. Where is your body in space? Where is it in relation to this sound that you are hearing? And again, we do these things to bring us into the present moment, to move us out of our thinking brain and into the feeling body. These grounding, orienting, coming into the present moment is calming, regulating for the nervous system. Okay, so we've done a little grounding and orienting. Just notice right now. Notice the state of your nervous system. What information is your body telling you about your relative feeling of calm or stress or kind of shut down, disconnected, not here at all? And now we'll do the first somatic exercise called the self-hug. Now, I learned this from Dr. Peter Levine, who is the founder of Somatic Experiencing. It's really one of the pioneers of working with veterans to help them with PTSD when they realize that talk therapy just is not enough for trauma and PTSD. So this is, again, it's called the self-hug, and he also refers to this as the container hold. And to do this, we want to take our right hand and like make an L, or reverse L, I guess it would be. Bring that hand under the left armpit. And then you take the opposite hand and just bring it to your left shoulder. And just kind of settle into, why don't you go ahead and scoot your hips back if you had moved forward. Just settle into the support of the chair underneath you. Settle into the connection and the sense of the support of the chair behind your back. Sense your feet to the floor. And then bring your awareness to the feeling of your hands on your body. Noticing that right hand under your arm, that left hand to your shoulder, and maybe give a little squeeze, not real big, just a gentle squeeze, just so we're giving the nervous system information that there is connection. And just, again, we're going to notice how that feels. Does that feel at all comforting or soothing? Maybe yes, maybe no. And then you might experiment with maybe bringing this left hand up and down your arm, just squeezing it. What we're doing here is actually feeling that our body is our container. Dr. Peter Levine says our body is our container of all feelings, sensations, and emotions. And when we can feel that we are held, that we are contained, then we're more safe to feel our feelings. We're more safe to feel sensation. We're more safe to feel our feelings. So again, this is a practice of just noticing, feeling the connection of your hands to your body, and noticing if it's helpful for you. And you'll know if it's helpful by what your body's telling you, if this feels soothing or comforting or calming. So this is a self-hug. Similar to the self-hug is holding your heart. So if you want to release your arms from that, again, I'd like you to feel very supported by the chair you're sitting in, that you can sense that there's connection underneath you so that your body can be relaxed, okay? In fact, let's go ahead and just see about softening into your shoulders. Just bring your intentional focus to soften into your shoulders. And then bring your intentional awareness and focus to softening into your eyes, into your cheekbones, into your jaw. Softening into the shoulders, into the eyes, into the cheekbones, and into the jaw. Nice. Now for the holding your heart, it's pretty much simply that. We'll start with experimenting with the right hand to your rib cage, your heart, bringing that hand and noticing the contact, noticing the physical sensation of having this connection. You may feel it as some weight. You might feel some warmth having this hand to your heart. Just notice what that does to your system. Is that calming at all? Soothing? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe that connection there feels kind of overtaking or like pressure. and not connection. This is all about you discovering what is helpful for you. So if you want to keep exploring this, you could maybe bring your other hand on top and see what that feels like. Just to have both hands over your heart. I like to do this when I'm laying on my back. You might try this when you're laying on your back, because when you're on your back, then your elbows can be supported by the ground and your body can just really release into this, to having your hands just placed over your heart, and allowing your body to release. Now let's add here, just noticing your breath. Feel your breath move. Remembering there's no right or wrong way for you to breathe. And feeling your breath move your body. You get to notice what you notice and feel what you feel without judgment. No judgment, just kind curiosity. What is this like for you? Is this at all calming or soothing to you? Now, if you want to leave your hands there, if you want to let your hands just fall down to your legs, right here, I'd like to remind you, I think we talked about this last time, and it's definitely in my notes that's part of that blog. And that is that our body, our nervous system gives us responses, natural responses of relaxation when we are in our parasympathetic state of our nervous system, which is called the rest, digest, recover state. That our body is going to naturally have these relaxation responses. These are things for you to be curious about, for you to notice throughout these practices, even throughout your day. So one of them is a spontaneous, I call it like a body sigh, where you just kind of go, like when you, at the end of the day, you finally get to sit down or lay down without making yourself do this sound. You might notice that you just go, right? That is a spontaneous response of your nervous system saying, I'm relaxed. My body can release and let go. So another response might be a sigh, oh, that was the sigh, or a spontaneous deeper breath. You might notice that. Maybe you've noticed that come over you when you're doing the container hold or the heart hold, self-hug. Saliva in your mouth. So noticing, is your mouth wet or dry? When we're in our sympathetic state of stress, dry mouth, right? Have you ever experienced that? When we're in our parasympathetic state of rest, digest, our body is set up to digest our food, and there's saliva in the mouth. The enzymes and acids are in the stomach ready to digest our food. So you might feel or hear your stomach gurgle. That's a relaxation response of the body. A spontaneous yawn is also a relaxation response. So these are things for you to be curious about and to notice. Again, these are cues and clues for you to say, my body is in parasympathetic. Okay, so now we're going to do the third practice that's called the push away. Before we do this, I'm going to ask you to settle in again. Maybe we'll come forward on the chair so that you can feel your feet right under your knees. Sort of come away from the support of the back of the chair so that you can feel the stability of your hips on the chair and the length of your spine. So starting from this grounded place, I'm going to ask you to bring up something, bring to mind something mild to moderately upsetting, difficult, or stressful. Okay? I want you to bring to mind, bring into your experience something mild to moderately upsetting or difficult. And I would encourage you to stay with what you're feeling and experiencing, to notice, is there sensation? Notice what you notice and feel what you feel when you think about this mild to moderate, upsetting or difficult, stressful. What do you notice in your system? What is happening right now? Okay. So now we're going to do the push away. And the push away exercise is a regulating exercise for the nervous system. So if you're in a fight, more of a sympathetic fight flight, it's meant to bring you down, regulate you down into parasympathetic. If you're in that lower freeze, disconnected, numb place, it's to activate your system, to give some aliveness to your nervous system, to bring it up to parasympathetic. So this is what we do for the push away. But since we're sitting, now I'd like you to move back again, because I want you to feel that connection of the back of your chair. I would hope that your feet can be on the floor. And we're going to bring our hands up to our shoulders with palms pressing or pointing out. And this is a practice of imagining that you are pushing a boulder away from your body. What are you going to need to do to push that boulder away? Like activate, like to really imagine that it is there, and you're going to need to activate those muscles. You're going to need to press maybe your feet into the ground and your back against that chair to give you that leverage to press this boulder away from you. We are using some real sympathetic energy in our system to press this imaginary boulder away. All right. And let's do this after we take in a full inhale, and then we're just going to press this boulder away. You press, 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 press until you can't press anymore, and then just let your hands drop to your thighs and notice what you feel. Okay, you ready? Let me see those palms up. All right, we're going to take in a deep breath. Push that boulder away. And let the arms drop. And just notice. Sigh. A big breath. You might feel a little trembling in your system. This exercise always makes me tremble. That's activated survival energy that is coming out of the body. And then with that, I also do get a sigh. Like my system's like, oh, to have let that go. So remember, I said this might be a little odd. We're going to try to stay really curious about what you might experience with this. There's no right or wrong. There's no supposed to's. Let's just see. So I forgot to mention, try to push this boulder away really slowly. And on this one, let's also add our exhale. So let me demonstrate for you. So just watch and listen, okay? So I bring my hands up. I'm gonna press this boulder away after I take in a deep breath and exhale as I push out. Here I go. And I let my hands drop. Maybe you can see my earrings swinging. My body, I have a little tremor. I have some energy that is releasing from my body. Okay, you ready to try it again? We bring the hands to the shoulders. We're going to press that boulder away slowly with our exhale. Here we go. Take a breath in. Exhale, press it away. Let the hands drop. Anybody get a breath? Feel any settling or any shaking? Just notice. Interesting at all? All right, on this last one, if you like, bring into your intention and your imagination what you are pushing away, what you are pressing away, pushing away, getting rid of. Bring into your intention and your imagination what you're pressing, pushing, getting rid of. All right. So we bring the hands up to the shoulders, take in a deep breath. Exhale, press it away. Arms come down. And just notice. What is the most obvious thing you notice in your body right now? What is the strongest, most curious or interesting thing you notice in your body right now? That's the push away. That can also be done on your back. On your back with your knees bent, feet to the floor. We'll be doing these variations on our last day, by the way, as we go through a yoga practice, putting in these practices. The push away also can be done standing up towards a wall with your hands on the wall, and then using your body force, your muscles pressing in, feeling that resistance. We're bringing up this sympathetic energy that is in our system, and then we're letting it go. Okay, so that's the push away. Next is called vooing. All right, vooing it's similar to the om you might have done maybe at a yoga practice. There can be kind of weird things brought into this, but it doesn't have to be. All we're doing is making a sound with our vocal cords. Why would we do that? Why is that helpful? We're going to get into the vagus nerve next week, but the vagus nerve, and someone who asked about it, Hillary, that vagus nerve is so important in this work, whether you know it or not. We're activating our vagus nerve when we do so much of this work. The vagus nerve travels, your 10th cranial nerve, comes down your body. It innervates into all parts into your face, into your ears, into your neck, into your vocal cords, your major organs. It ends down there at your pelvis. And the vagus nerve sends information. 80% of the information goes from the body to the brain. Most nerves, they're sending information from the brain to the body. But the vagus nerve sends the information from the body to the brain. When the body feels calm, muscles are released, stomach isn't clenched, heart rate is down, then the vagus nerve recognizes that there's calm and ease, that there isn't stress going on in the body, and it sends a message to the brain to not be stressed as well. So we VOO because the vagus nerve comes in to the vocal cords, and when we stimulate the vocal cords, we activate or stimulate the vagus nerve, which helps bring us into our parasympathetic state. So that's why we VOO. And I've been practicing this with people in person and online for quite a while. I'm comfortable doing it, but it's a little odd. And if there's someone that you think might be hearing you, you might be might have a little discomfort with it, but that's okay. You get to notice what you notice and feel what you feel. If this isn't the perfect place for you to practice it, find a place that would be in your car, someplace where you're alone, or try it with a friend or a grandchild, someone that you can laugh with, right? Just go ahead and laugh, because it's a little bit strange, but notice how you feel after. I'm going to take a drink of water. And so we're going to take in a breath, and just right now, let's all just make the sound of VOO. VOO, VOO, VOO. All right, so we're going to do that, but we're holding the ooh. We're going to say it as long, we're going to press the air out as we VOO it out. Vocal cords are going to vibrate. Okay, so we're going to notice what we notice and feel what we feel with lots of fun curiosity. Okay, so again, we're going to make the VOO sound, extending out our entire exhale with the ooh sound. Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. Let's take in a breath. And let's notice any sensation, anything interesting, curious. Let's do it again. Want to do it again? All right, so now we kind of have an idea of what it sounds like and how we press the air out and we hold that ooh sound as long as possible until that spontaneous breath comes back in, and see how that feels to get that, you've pressed all the air out and then they have that spontaneous breath come into your body. All right, here we go. Take a breath in. Just notice. Any spontaneous yawns? I think I might have caught one. Certainly a bigger breath is going to come in after releasing all of the breath. How sweet. So just notice if that might be, I normally say calming for the nervous system, but we're not always in that stressed place of fight flight where we need to calm down, right? Sometimes, do you ever feel this? Sometimes are you in that low energy, kind of numb to feeling, sensation, numb to life, and you need some energy, you need some enlivenedness in your system. So the boo and the push away, most of these are, they're regulating. I've made the mistake of talking about them all being calming, but they're not. They're regulating. Okay. So that's the boo. And I encourage you to try it and to do it with someone you can laugh with. Okay. The last practice we're going to do this morning is called Pendulation. And this was coined by, again, Dr. Peter Levine. And imagine a pendulum, right? A pendulum swings back and forth. And pendulation is this concept and experience of feeling two different things in your body, feeling two different sensations. Because what trauma does, among many things, but trauma lies to us. Trauma and traumatic stress lies that we will always feel blank. You know, you fill in the blank. You will always feel this deep suffering. You will always feel this intense pain. And we want to teach the nervous system the truth and a new story that we can, first off, yes, we can feel that pain or that suffering without going into overwhelm, that we can allow ourselves to feel it. And we also can feel something else. And so in my yoga practice, I refer to this as feeling both effort and ease in our bodies. So I'm going to have us practice feeling as you're able to sense in to your body, your system, two different things. I'm going to lead you through this. It's mostly going to be kind of this concept of feeling effort, feeling a stretch, and feeling ease. Okay. And we're going to do this through some neck stretches, which are activate the vagus nerve as well. And then we're going to do it through heart opening and posture opening. Again, it also activates the vagus nerve. So it's just like this double, triple whammy of goodness. All right, so let's come kind of forward to your chair again, so that your feet are under your knees. And let's take a moment to ground the sense, the connection of the chair or the ground underneath your sits bones, under your tailbone. Wherever you have that connection or contact to the chair or the ground, bring your sensory awareness to feel it. And then the same thing with under your feet. Sense the support, the contact, the connection of the ground under your feet. I don't know if you noticed that, but I just had a sigh, just a sigh come over my system because I'm grounded. My body likes this. What is your body like? What is your nervous system like? What do you notice? Okay, let's begin to roll the shoulders a little bit. Notice what that feels like as you move your shoulders in one direction. And now we're going to bring the shoulders up towards the earlobes. And then send those shoulders and shoulder blades back and down and low and loose. Notice what it feels like now to have space between your earlobes and your shoulders. Again, that's using your proprioception. If you're not looking, if you were to close your eyes and not see yourself in the device you have, just get a sense how much space is between your earlobes and your shoulders. And now bring those shoulders up again. Now hold them there. We call this wearing your shoulders as earrings. Notice the tension, the tightness you might feel around your neck and shoulders. Can you get a sense of the amount of space between earlobes and shoulders? And now let them come down. And again, can you get a sense for the space between earlobes and shoulders? Low, loose shoulders. We're not holding tension and tightness in and around our neck. When we have these low, loose shoulders, we have lots of mobility to stretch and move the neck. So let's just turn the chin towards the right shoulder. Your body will tell you when to stop. You won't be turning your head like Linda Blair. Just let that chin. I'm sorry, that's a terrible image. Bring the chin to the right or the left. Feel the stretch there. And then bring the chin over to the other side. You get to notice what you notice and feel what you feel. Feel how you notice the stretch on this side. And then we'll just go ahead and go back and forth, just warming up your neck, bringing movement. All right, and then as you let the head come forward, let's drop the right earlobe towards your right shoulder. Guide your awareness to sense the sensations of the stretch that you feel. What is your body? How is your neck feeling this stretch? And now see if you can bring some ease into your jaw. Just sensing some ease into your jaw. Can you feel the stretch or the effort, the challenge to that part of your body? And then also feel that your jaw is loose. Can you go back and forth like a pendulum to feel the stretch or challenge in your neck and the ease or softness in your jaw? Back and forth, feeling them both. Good, and then we'll bring the head back up. And here I'd like you just go ahead and let your head and your neck just keep right on moving and rolling after that stretch. What would feel good? And then when you're done experimenting, exploring with how you want to move your neck after that, let's come back into facing forward. And then letting the left earlobe drop towards the left shoulder. You get to notice what you notice and feel what you feel. No judgment, just kind curiosity. What do you sense along the outside of your neck with this stretch? And this time, see if you can soften into your shoulders. So even as you have the neck drop towards one side, towards this left shoulder, make sure you're not holding any tension as you're able. Soften into your shoulders. And soften into your face and jaw. Can you feel both the challenge, the stretch happening to your neck, and feel ease in your shoulders, ease in your face and jaw. Back and forth. And then go ahead and bring that head back. And again, let that head and neck keep right on moving. Right on moving. And we'll bring the head back up. All right, let's roll those shoulders a bit. Why don't we pause here? Let's pause here and notice, maybe specifically for any of those relaxation responses. Notice for any natural relaxation responses of your body. Having felt maybe a deeper breath come in, or a sigh. Notice the amount of saliva or dryness in your mouth. Sometimes you might notice that extra saliva as that you've been swallowing. You've been swallowing. You notice if you feel or hear your stomach gurgling. Even if you're hungry and your stomach, or even if your stomach is empty and needs food, if your system is activated into a stress response or into the freeze is really the survival response. Fight, flight is the stress response. Freeze is the survival response. If your system is in one of those responses, your stomach is not set up to digest food. That's what some people do not feel hungry because their system is dysregulated. They do not feel the hunger. They do not, and because their system is not, it's not set up to digest food. So just some interesting things to notice. Maybe the gurgling of your stomach, the feeling of your stomach being prepared for food, okay? Even a little moisture around your eyes or a yawn. Do you notice after a yawn how sometimes your eyes water? It's a relaxation response of the body. Okay, so we took a pause to just be curious and notice if we've felt any of those relaxation responses by doing these practices. All right, now we'll go back to a little roll to the shoulders. We'll bring the hands in what is called heart center. Prayer hands are heart center. Let's take a pause here to ground. Guide your awareness to the sensation of connection and support under your body and under your feet. And then guide your awareness to feeling the sensation of your hands connected. Notice what you notice, feel what you feel. If you have any sensations of what it's like to have this connection, is there any warmth? You feel the finger pads of your fingers connected. Can you feel the undersides of your knuckles, your palms? We're bringing a lot of awareness, sensory awareness into the body. This is grounding and regulating for the nervous system. All right, now we're going to let those hands fall out flat in front of us. The elbows draw in together a bit. And then we open up thumbs towards the back of the room. We bring the hands back in towards one another. We open up, thumbs towards the back of the room. Hands come back in. They open up. Now let's connect breath with movement here. We're going to inhale together. Exhale, open. Inhale together. Exhale, open. Keep moving through this. Find your pace. Move at your pace with your breath awareness. Notice what you notice and feel what you feel without judgment or analyzing. Kind curiosity. Notice sensation, maybe across your heart or ribs as you open up. Maybe you begin to notice some activation, some heat maybe across the back of your shoulders or shoulder blades. This trauma recovery work is very much a practice of noticing all sensation, not ignoring or distracting or pushing away feelings or sensations, even the discomforting ones. And now here, let's open this up. Now, if you don't feel pain or strain, if you could hold this exaggerated open posture, palms towards the ceiling, heart shining through your ribs. Notice into your shoulders, your back. We've been doing this for some time. You might feel some discomfort, some challenge into the muscles, the arms, like they're getting fatigued. I want you to feel that. Notice sensation in your shoulders, your back, your neck. Don't distract. We notice and we feel what is there. And now here, I want to ask you to practice bring a little smile to your face. Bring a little smile to your face. Feel what that does to your face, to your spirit and your heart. You feel the challenge in your arms and your shoulders, even the fatigue, maybe a little discomfort. You bring in that smile to your face. Soften into your eyes. Soften into your jaw. You feel some ease and release in your face, your jaw. Effort and challenge in your arms and your body. This isn't going to last forever. Hard things come to an end by the grace of God. Hard things come to an end. 3, 2, 1. Let the arms come down. Let the hands just settle onto your legs. And notice. Just notice how your system feels. What are the cues and the clues that your body is giving you about the state of your nervous system? Do a little checklist for those relaxation responses. Have some extra saliva in your mouth. Have you felt a bigger breath come in or a sigh come out? It is almost 12:15 for those of us on Pacific time. It would probably be not unusual to be hungry, but do you feel it? Does your system really experience that you're in a relaxed state? This is the state that we would like to be in when we are eating our food, so that we can digest our food well. Just a little a little extra here, before you eat, do some grounding, do some orienting. Let your body come into relaxation so that you can digest your food. All right, my friends,